And with the song finished, we can officially begin episode 38 of the Hat Jack Show. Are you there, Jack?
No, I'm not here.
Awesome. I am the ever forgetful and beautiful Hack.
No, I am your self-deprecating co-host, Jack.
And boy, oh boy, am I excited for today's episode.
Oh, I bet you are, because when I saw that,
Oh, yeah.
oh,
Oh, yeah. So, so I will say this. Now was this, Jack? If
hmm
due to the topic of today's episode, we will of course warn ahead of time of talking of any potential spoilers for the gaming question, and we'll let everyone know in which you can come back and listen to us later if you really, really want to experience this game for yourself, since it's setting to come out actually in June now. The actual official release date. It's going to be coming out in
hmm
June. But, but of course, we need to be talking about the nitty gritty stuff, which is going to be the juicy part. So
you know what?
viewers
I
beware.
no. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Screw that. To be honest, like really do screw that. Saved people some money and
Oh,
tell them the truths, okay?
oh, okay, all right.
Because what I was tired of seeing throughout the whole time I was there, when I was trying to look up some information about this, is that no one wanted to talk about it. All they did was react, and all I heard was, ooh, ah, bad, bad. I was tired of that. People need to know what the hell is happening. Why are people mad?
You know what? He does have a fair point because it also took me some sleuthing to figure out what actually happened.
Yeah, not many people, like, to be honest, not many people are going to go ahead and look why it was bad or why this happened.
Yeah.
So we're going to tell you, we're going to be the few individuals that are actually going to tell you what happened.
Yes, and of course, to protect our butts, since the game's not officially out and things could change out. Some maybe who knows when the final release comes. So take all the information that was leaked out with a grain of salt. But at this point, with how close the game's coming out, I'll say it's. I don't think they're gonna make any changes in the last minute. But then, being Naughty Dog, who knows? Maybe they're gonna crunch in a new plot line between now and the release date.
hmm
All right. So before we get before we get into that, I actually want to ask you, Jack,
Yeah.
just some primer stuff. Um, any reason why Linkin Park and My Chemical Romance were trending on Twitter today?
I have no idea. I thought that they, to be honest, I thought they all disbanded.
It's I, I'm just asking because I'm like, what? Did a member die? They're doing a big concert. No, all of a sudden go to my Twitter. There's
hmm
there's Linkin Park, My Chemical Romance, Smashing Pumpkins,
hmm
and then Led Zeppelin, and now I see Fall Out Boy trending. So I'm like, what that? What's with these? Like aside from Led Zeppelin, what's with these like early 2000s
hmm
bands trending? I don't know what it is. Just so something. And also, tell everyone, no, I have not slept since last night because number one, I just had one of those nights where I couldn't sleep, and to pass the time, I ended up listening to like to two 5-hour streams to pass the time. And let's just say, if you thought I was misogynist now, I learned some valuable life lessons that I may or may not apply to my real life. So And actually, Jack, how are you been since the last episode?
Sleep schedule has also been a wreck, but that's been a wreck ever since quarantine happened. So, I went to sleep. My regular times to sleep is like 4 a.m. now, almost 5. This time it was almost 5. I literally was close to seeing the sun come up when I went back to sleep, or actually went to sleep.
He's a living, breathing vampire, all right.
And woke up at 2, which has been my regular thing now, which I don't like. I really want to go back to actually night rest, but it's kind of hard when you're wide awake in the middle of the night.
Yes, I yes, reach to that. And some and also for those of you interested, I there was a interview that I did with a comic pro this past Sunday, but due to technical difficulties, it couldn't be finished, and I was able to only have like do just 40 minutes of it before it just the connection was just couldn't it just couldn't handle it.
Hmm.
Right, so right now it's unlisted, and it's available to through my Twitter account if you want to see it. But that was a very disappointing Sunday when that happened. I'm like, no, because I had a plan B. I kid you not, I had a plan B because I knew just in case plan A wasn't gonna go well, and per- the person Josh Howard he did warn me, say, hey, I'm not having trouble. I'm not having good luck with this program, but we'll use it. And then okay, the I realized that yeah, it's not having real good luck with it. So at that moment, the one time I needed Google to count for something, it failed.
Hmm.
I was trying to talk to this pro via Google Hangouts, but
Hmm.
Google was not allowing any invitation to him whatsoever.
Huh. Weird.
Yeah, and eventually ran out of time. We had to, and now had to reschedule to do another one another time. But oh boy, that was a disappointing Sunday. That was disappointing. But oh, and also, did you see that news? Did you see that news that the Pentagon officially says, yeah, those are UFOs and some U.S. Navy footage?
What? Is that true?
Yeah, it's true. Um, there's been there's been some. Can't find specific footage. I can't find specific footage because lots of them is referring to a whole specific of them that released from 2009 to 2015 that shows UFOs in them.
Hmm.
And and for I understand, it's technically not recent. It's technically not new news because the government has officially declared this on multiple occasions. But
Hmm.
they're reiterating, I guess, that yes, those are actually UFOs on these uh, U.S. Navy footage.
Damn. 2020 is wild.
Yep, and because of that, I ended up joining the stream and learning about the Greys. And I'm like, oh well, I'm down this rabbit hole. Might as well. Might as well. So so yeah, UFOs. If you thought the C virus was gonna end humanity, I don't know, man. I don't, but hold on. But if they're Martians though, just use world to world logic. Do you remember how how the aliens were defeated in War of the Worlds?
No. No.
Literally, Earth bacteria killed like the invading Martians in War of the Worlds.
Oh yeah, can you just sneeze on them and they just melt?
It, it's literally like toxic to them, which makes sense since they're completely in an alien atmosphere, and the aliens themselves have like no protective wear to wear. They just come out
Hmm.
and are like, oh, everything's fine, and then why am I? And they're like, Who's cooking? Although I gotta say, I remember reading the War of the Worlds original novel.
Hmm.
The Martians, it's literally just like they literally look like how are they depicted? They're like squid people with beak noses. That's all. That's literally what they look like. Like they're like literal machines. They're scarier than the actual Martians.
Yeah. Oh
So,
yeah, they did look kind of very machine-like in that one.
yeah, and then I think and then was it Spielberg wisely decided to go the different route when he made it to a movie. Oh, by the way, so trying to find all the stuff for the leaked Last of Us 2.
Hmm.
Fortunately, a lot of the like footage or stuff leaked has already taken down by Naughty Dog. So of any like existing gameplay footage or cutscenes, besides a select few, and I ended up having to like go across both 4chan and Reddit just to find the information I was looking for.
Huh.
No, no, God dang it!
What?
I literally say a 4chan page I needed, and now it's gone. I thought nothing leaves 4chan.
Oh, well, there goes your lead.
Let's see if Reddit has better luck. Uh, all right. So, dang, restart discussion. Dang it. Let's go. Yeah, dang it. All right, hold on. Let me bring up. Let me bring up. All right, let me open up something else. Wow. Well, Night Dog, they're on the patrol. They really don't want people talking about this. I assume.
Oh wait, you're trying to find the whole talking, like all the talking points that they're doing for that that game.
No, like someone was able to print out like put in like in at least in a list form all the events that happened, like
Let me see.
that
Hopefully I can
happens
find
in
it.
order.
Let me see if I can find it because I know one that like I even like the video just so I can be able to look up the link that they have in my history.
Well, even then, I remember just pretty much the main gist of it, like the real meat and potatoes of it. Probably don't remember all the nitty details. So I can remember that.
Hmm.
So
Dang it! They have to make me type it out. I hate it when people put up a link for you and then they make you type it out.
now,
They're like, oh yeah, it's in here. This is it's in this link. Just look at it in the description. It's not there.
so while you're doing that, also j- uh, just 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 to let you know, new Assassin's Creed game, yay! Guess where they at now? Guess where they at now? There's assassins. They're everywhere, man. Guess where they at now?
Where?
They're now in the Nordic countries now. Assassin's
I
Creed
thought they have
Valhalla.
already done that.
No, I think fusing it with the Russian seas with Rogue.
Um,
No, now we're gonna go to the proper the Nordic regions of Europe with Assassin's Creed Valhalla. God, these assassins are everywhere, man. And from the looks of it, it looks like it takes place like in the mid not middle not Middle East. I mean the Middle Ages for the Nords. So you got those men in armor. Not really Vikings though. I think it's a bit after that. Still, I don't know why they still don't won't do ninjas. It's right there. And every time a new AC games are out, there's always one fan being like, "Where's my Assassin's Creed Japan?" Oh, and did you see the whole orc thing that happened too? Oh, okay, so I
Here.
think this is only I think so this is only regulated to Twitter being Twitter. Let me see if I just bookmarked any of the
There you go.
silly stuff.
Got you the thread.
Awesome.
Have to
Oh,
type it down.
you have to go to recent era.
Oh no, they took off the images too. Oh, Imgur image is gone. Oh well, we just need the talking points. We don't need the images.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So there was a whole thing with orcs trending because some hipster who I'm pretty sure just got into D&D, he was essentially making a comparison that orcs were supposed to represent black people,
Huh.
even though that is never the case. Orcs are just orcs, and so he's getting ratio to hell, being like, "Wow, you're I think." It's like, wow, I think you're kind of projecting there if you think orcs represent black people, and so that got trending for a bit, and I saw this just this funny tweet. I won't name it out who it is. That's not important. Just the funny stuff that this says. Let's see. Da, 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 da. So this is one tweet. Just hear this out. This is the one thing I will say, and this is a girl speaking. I think it's a girl. Not too sure.
Hmm.
Yes, orcs and goblins and elves aren't real, but the people who play the game are the people who write the game are. You cannot draw a line between fiction and reality because they feed one another. It's a constant loop. As game designers, we're responsible for ensuring that ugly, harmful realities like racial stereotyping do not make it into the fiction. Because if they do, and players see it and use it to justify themselves, the game only reinforces the pain real life racism sows. Funny, I was never taught that as a game designer. I was just taught you gotta have a fun game. Oh well, I guess I was taught wrong. I'm taught put to talking about racial issues in my fighting games.
It's so stupid because it's like this whole culture has gone from just having fun, especially with media itself. It's gone from having fun with your imagination to we need to send out a message. Like it's fine to send out a message, but does it have to be every single thing? Like does Peppa Pig need to go up in stage and say have the value teach you the values of, let's say, political powers and why this side's correct and that side's not correct?
or or someone could go. Here's why communism is actually a good thing based on my experience playing Animal Crossing.
Playing Animal Crossing, I love it.
Oh, and also, so I don't know if you know this. Do you know? Or are you aware of how D&D back in the '80s and early '90s? It was the media, the especially right wing media, and a lot of
Hmm.
fundamentalist Christian groups were calling like D&D like a gateway to Satanism and the occult.
Hmm.
We went full circle now, since now I see this lovely tweet on Twitter that says, and I quote, I don't know who needs to hear this, but Dungeons and Dragons is a right wing conservative fantasy with a coat of paint on it. So we went from this game will make you worship the devil to the game is designed for conservatives. Full circle. All right. So that's pretty much all the just the little stuff wanted to point out that I happen to notice. Oh, and also I gotta show you an image. Remember that the very butch girl from in The Last of Us?
Yes.
I saw a great redesign of her. I'll send you to Discord.
All right, let's see how it goes. This will be good.
And let me let people see what I'm looking at.
Oops, sorry. Oh, Jesus Christ.
There we go. So people can see what I'm looking at. I played college ball, you know.
I'm part of the rugby team.
Nano machines, son. That's,
Abby, what are you doing? Nanomachine, son.
oh man, that feeling when you have a more dramatic plot in a game about cyborg ninjas than your post-apocalyptic, uh, da- realistic survival game.
It's such a stupid message.
Oh yeah. All right. So I think it's now time to get the main show on the road. So as the title suggests, I'm calling it once it officially comes out. I'm calling it that The Last of Us Part 2 will be the last Jedi of video games. And when we go through all the story leaks, you'll understand why. So again, as Jack and I stated, starting now, everything has leaked. We're talking about it. You have been warned. All right. So let's go through. Let's just a synopsis of how the story goes. So Jack, why don't you take us through that?
Alright, so, if you haven't heard of what The Last of Us is, first of all, it's just it's pretty much a zombie game. Instead of zombies being infected with diseases, it's by fungal spores.
Exclusively on PlayStation.
Exclusively on PlayStation, yes. But, yeah, the first game was pretty good. It was pretty good.
It was average, if you ask me.
But anyways, let's go into what this one is. So this one takes us through both lives. We go back to the lives of both Joel and Ellie. For from what I've heard, it's gonna be for the first half. It's gonna be you're gonna be playing as Ellie, having Joel as your companion, which is gonna be weird because most people, whenever you play the first game, it's Joel and then Ellie is gonna be your companion. But no, this is the other way around.
Yeah,
Then
Joel's
the
a
second
much
game,
older man, and Ellie's a woman.
eh, I mean, she's barely of age. I think. I don't know.
She's technically a woman in the post-apocalypse.
That's wrong. But anyways, uh, the second half of the game, you're gonna be playing as Abby and whoever her companion is. I forgot who it is.
I believe it's you're talking about the Asian chick, right?
I forgot most of them.
Is the ones with the bow and arrow. Keep talking. Let me see if I can find who that person is.
All right. So then, this is what's been confirmed. That part's been confirmed. Second part's been confirmed. The game has you fighting Ellie from the perspective of Abby. You are going to fight one of the main characters of the first game.
Oh, and by the way,
So
the character with the bow, her name is Lev.
that's the girl, Love.
Yeah.
Dina is pregnant with Jesse's baby. Her and Ellie are trying to start a family. I have no idea what's going to be going through that whole thing, but yeah. Here's the big one too.
Oh, here we go. Here's and for reference, this is gonna be our Luke Skywalker moment right here.
Joel dies at the hands of Abby. And like it's not even like of course we can't see the pictures now because it's been deleted. But he dies by a 9 iron. having Abby cave his skull in. That's about it. With a golf club.
The protagonist of the first game out like that.
Now, why do you think that he had to die here? Because Joel killed her family that were in the Fireflies during that whole after, like at the last mission, where you had to get Ellie out, or with questionable morals, get Ellie out of the science building, rescue her, quote unquote.
It,
That's where her parents died, apparently. Abby's.
although, if I recall, I think you have option of just escaping without having to fight them. But that's just based on my memory. I could be wrong.
No, canonically, you fight them all off.
But he's just
There,
one man.
that I like how they always say that. It seems like they forget about protagonist plot armor.
Well, at this moment, that plot armor went away for this.
Yeah, because he had no more plot. But yeah, that's what happened.
Yep.
Those were the big things that happened throughout the whole story. Now, I want to talk about one quick thing that people always wanted to see happen, and actually made people mad because the keep in mind, even all the cuts, I think a good chunk of the cutscenes, if not all of them, were leaked. So I saw one of them, which was Ellie and Joel talking to each other, and Ellie questions, how did Joel get her out of the whole, like, the science building, and why was there why wasn't there anyone else with like the immuno like just immune to the whole fungal cordyceps?
Yep. Pretty much the whole the pretty much what the big thing that really made me dislike Joel at the end of the last game was coming right back at him. You know, the little lie he did, the little lie.
Yeah, it came back at him, and he just says, pretty much in a sense, he says, "Yeah, well, they're rare. You can't find them. Like, wouldn't you hide too if you were if like we hid you since you had immune immunity towards the fungal spores?" And she just goes, "Okay." Well, in a sense, she just like accepts it, not like without questioning him anymore. But
Yep.
of course, she didn't say that exactly. She just accepted it after a small, brief argument. Not even like a whole scene. It's just a small, brief argument.
Yep. That's some nice. That's some nice. That's you know what you know what that is. You know what that is, Jack.
What?
That moment. That's Luke tossing the lightsaber on the island in the Last Jedi.
Yep.
That's what that is. E- Ellie not trying to figure out the real truth, the freaking lie that Joel did because of his selfish reasons, and admittedly, an understandable one because it would have meant that Ellie would have had to die.
Mm.
But then again, it was for his own selfish reason. It was still for his own selfish reasons.
Now here's the thing. Okay, if like when I was watching this video, this guy was doing a whole story analysis, and let me. I'm gonna actually go ahead and pull back up that video and put it in the sources. That way, first of all, that's how I got this link. So this is a good way for me to really make sure he gets his work out there, because he really did an in-depth analysis about the whole thing. And And like the thing is that when when you have a character that people really like for example Joel, you need to be careful on how like you could try to kill him off, but you need to make it in a way to where it's not gonna piss people off. They need to go. They need to. The character needs to do something that'll cross way beyond the line to make it where people will be like, okay, you're going way too far, and at least like try to make him look like an anti-hero or some way make him look more like a villain or someone that's gone too far.
Funny enough, I had something to say about that. I have something to say about in that regard, and kind of how the game director's vision, but
Hmm.
I'll save that for last. So just keep on going.
So I think if we were trying to make this game, we would if you and I were making this game, I think we would have both agreed that if we were planning to kill Joel off, it would be at the hands of Ellie. He needs to fit. He needs to we need to make him look like he has. Of course, he has gone. He has crossed the line a little bit by literally not caring about the world and getting a cure and just saving Ellie just because he has this complex of him losing his little girl and he's gonna lose pretty much another daughter-like figure.
Yep.
We need
And
to kind of have that gone a little bit more to where it seems like Joel has now in a sense gone insane in the where he doesn't want anyone to do anything with Ellie, like not even touch her, not even shake hands. Get him super paranoid to where he needs to be put down. That would have been at least a better way than just having some random girl that I don't remember really well.
she was never in the first game.
Yeah, than just some random girl clubbing Joel to death.
And personally for me, and personally for me, in my viewpoint, what would sort of be a sequel is, and it's something I've heard even since the first game. Personally, they have such a big world, a big kind of world building they have in this game that if I was gonna give Last of Us 2 at least even a partial chance to even play it,
Mm-hmm.
I honestly would just focus on different characters on a different part of the country. Just be like, here is like Last of Us is Joe and Ellie's story. Last of Us Part Two, this is so and so's story, and
Mm-hmm.
how they deal with and whatever they had to deal with during this whole um uh pu- during this whole crisis. That's what I personally would do, and let that that lingering feeling, that lingering uh, thoughts of like will Ellie ever learn the truth about what Joel did? You know, leave that up to speculate to the player because it's more interesting to think about and talk about it than to provide an actual resolution for it, as showcased by the game here, and just focus on a set of new characters where you're not burdened by the previous game and you have a chance to do new stuff with new things with new characters that you couldn't do in the previous one. That's what I would have personally done.
All right, so here at the very bottom, if Hack can look at it, it's the unconfirmed or the speculation parts. I think this is where you were trying to lead up with the 4chan summary or something because this says 4chan at the
E-
very bottom.
yeah, yeah.
So let's read through the in detailed speculation, of course. So, speculation is that one of the surgeons Joel killed had a daughter called Abby, which is the character you're going to play as in the second half. The Firefly massacre destroyed her whole life. She's been looking for revenge ever since. She knew who Ellie was because her dad, talking about their shot at a cure, figured out. Joel from Firefly Records. Colt attacks Ellie's settlement, and she, Jesse, and Dinah are part of the group sent to track down and attack it. Jesse is killed during this. Ellie is now violent, angry, and goes to Seattle for looking for the cult home to wipe it out. Meets Joel there because he heard about Jesse and came back to help her. Abby finds Ellie because she has been in conflict with the cult too. So when Ellie hunts them to Seattle and is set to attack them, with Joel her group find them and attack her. She kills. This one's saying Abby kills Joel herself, takes Ellie back to the camp, debating what to do with her, since for all her hate, she doesn't blame her for the massacre. Ellie butchers her group to escape, and Allie is now motivated to hunt her down. Second half of the game is spent as Abby chasing Ellie down. Ellie continues hunting the cult while she's chasing her down. Ending is Ellie, and Abby fighting to the death. You kill Ellie as Abby, and she leaves while realizing she's not really won in any meaningful way, since she's also since all she's done is get more of her loved ones killed for the sake of her killing Joel and Ellie, ending a cycle of revenge with the loose implications Ellie's friends will hunt Abby now in return. So that is the speculated plot points or plot of the whole game.
And based on the cutscenes that were leaked and are not there no more, which I got to see a few of them. I can confirm at least some of them being as yeah, that's actually in the story, such as the let's see, where is now violently angry and goes to Seattle looking for the cult home to wipe them out. That takes place after she has like a big, uh, a big talk with her girlfriend Dina. And of course and there's also the scene where you do see Joel being killed, so that's confirmed. As far as the ending, if there was footage of it, I didn't see it, so that one we'll just leave it as speculation, probably 99% accurate.
And like, here's the thing: I don't see any way where I like Abby at all
Oh,
because,
especially since you're gonna be playing as her for the last half of the game.
like, really, if I was playing that game, I would not finish it at the part where Ellie and Abby fight each other. I would let Ellie just kill me. That's all I would do. If there's a cutscene where if there's a quick event where Joel is trying to block the golf club shots, I would let him do it because there is no way I would like Abby because here's like if you were able to see the videos or like the pictures. Okay, remember Dina is pregnant. Ellie and Dina were captured by Abby, and there was an image where Abby is about to slit Dina's throat, and Ellie's like, "Stop, stop! She had nothing to do with it." Abby turns to Ellie. Ellie says, "She is pregnant." Abby says, "Good," wants to kill her, and in parentheses wants to kill her. Lev just says Abby, like just kind of like saying, "Oh no, what are you doing?" So th- this just kind of confirms my things of like, why do I like her? Why do I even want to be her? Like, why do I want to be this character for the next half of the game?
And keep this in mind. It's not like all of a sudden you have a character who, at least from what we've seen here, is going to have is built up in a way in which in which she has redeemable qualities about herself. Because consider this. Um, after Joel was killed and you switch characters to play as Abby, you know how the players gonna. I don't think Naughty Dog realized how players are gonna feel by playing the killer of the previous protagonist, and now and their whole mission now will be to hunt down to kill essentially everyone's favorite character from the last game. And if the ending and then what we read the ending's true, you ended up doing that anyways. So
See, and this is why I don't like it when, like, yeah, a lot of YouTubers want to have, like, get some revenue off of this whole gossip, and what they do is they don't want to spoil it. That way they don't get taken down. But people need to hear this just so they don't waste $60 on a crappy sequel.
oh man, yeah, you want to know how vindicated I feel of all the years of just like essentially just not not bad mouthing Last of Us, but like just telling people it's an okay game, guys. It's just okay. It ain't no RE4.
And, like, here's the thing when, by the way, keep in mind, everyone, the way this game was leaked was by, at least everyone's now confirming it's the same thing because it's the same story everywhere now. It's by an angry developer. We don't know who it is, and even if we did, we wouldn't really want to put his name out there just so he can, because he's pretty much the hero we all needed.
But not the one we deserve.
Yep.
So yeah, so that's the speculation that it was a bitter, I believe, QA tester that leaked all of this, and this probably coincides with the fact that I believe that I think the story kind of pretty much had to be rewritten late in development of the game. Hence why there was reports of like insane crunch hours over at Naughty Dog.
Mm,
And just so people get an idea of like what's essentially um essentially I guess not who to blame, but like what led to these series of events. You're gonna have to refer to the game's director, Neil Druckmann, and just based on some stuff that he's done within the company, and some stuff in talking about The Last of Us, is one of those things where like, we kind of see it coming. Like, do you recall? This is very old. It's like from 2 years ago. Remember when he said that then describing The Last of Us 2, he said he wouldn't use the word fun. To describe a video game in which the point is to create a entertaining, interactive piece of media.
that's like the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah. And this one tweet he did back in 2017 where he says, uh, "Writers work off the reviews of the world. For example, the ending of The Last of Us very much inspired by my quote unquote personal politics." So I was like, okay, kind of a little pretentious one. And then when you look kind of more behind the scenes stuff,
Hmm.
so let me ask you this: does the name Amy Henning mean anything to you?
Not really.
Okay, so Amy Henning is considered one of the best writers in the video game industry. And to
Hmm.
give you an idea of what she's written,
Hmm.
she she in the beginning was known for writing the Legacy of Kain series for the what was it, the original PS1, which that's his own like hardcore group of fans there. Then she directed and wrote Uncharted's 1 through 3,
Hmm.
and I believe she also did The Last of Us. However, um, however, she's no longer working at Naughty Dog. So and as to what reasons, no one can really know why. But what people speculated, what some insider sources can at least confirm a little, was that once Druckmann came into the studio, there was tensions between them, which is
Hmm.
why Amy Hennig literally quit during development of Uncharted 4.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm. And it was and because of that because of her leaving, Druckmann pretty much starts taking over the writing duties at Naughty Dog. Hence why number one, he ends up in a DLC making Ellie a lesbian, which I
Hmm.
played. I was like, okay, which now I really think about it, that's literally all that DLC is for, just to make her a lesbian. That's really it. And then and also and the prepared script that Amy had for the fourth Uncharted game,
Hmm.
he throws it out and makes his own. So literally, the person who helped make the first three games successful and best hits, he ignores it to do his own thing. And he's the reason why the studio went to crunch mode very recently, which is why he got delayed multiple times because he kept rewriting the story for The Last of Us 2. And also, and for some reason, he in future re-releases of the first Uncharted game, he took
Hmm.
out the fat Nate costume
Why?
because it was offensive.
He's offensive.
His just look at his profile picture. Uh, I'll give you an idea. It's in black and white,
Hmm.
big hipster beard, and he looks like serious. So already you can tell. Oh, look at this hipster. Look at this hipster. So you got a guy he confuses personal politics with creating stories,
Hmm.
and that's essentially how you got with The Last of Us 2. Which is
Okay.
funny considering that he's this guy's all for standing up for women, but fires like the one of the best assets the company has ever had, especially since responsible for like the success of the Uncharted games.
Well, like here's the thing. They don't. When it comes to these type of people, the social justice warriors, they don't do it. They don't do these things to for the benefit of whoever they're trying to protect, or for like to make a better place. They're doing this because of their own narcissism.
Oh yeah, for their own ego.
Like here's the thing. When I saw this video, it was kind of funny. This guy he goes into a, he goes to he's a white kid, goes to a college dressed up in a sombrero, poncho, maracas, and the biggest Mexican beard mustache you've ever seen. Like un bigote grande. Like it's one of those where you look at the like you see the that one that little hot sauce that has a
Oh,
mariachi man there.
the tapatio.
Tapatio, yeah, that one. That type of bigote. He goes up and he tells people, uh, "Is this my whole costume? Is this offensive?" Like, yeah, yeah, it's cultural appropriating. Like he tells it to a bunch of college kids. Does it? They all say it's cultural appropriating or it's offensive. It's making fun of them. He goes to a Mexican market dressed the same way. Of course, he has a translator with him sometimes, so they can understand them. For some of the people, he asked them, "Is this offensive?" Like, no. Do you like like why don't you think it's offensive? Because I like it. He's like, people like Mexican people liked it, even though the white people in college universities supposedly say that they weren't gonna like it. That it's offensive.
Yeah.
No.
And you know what, you just reminded me as soon as I said Tapatio? It's
What?
unrelated. Do you remember that joke that Gabriel Iglesias had with about his dad? Every time he asked his mom
Yeah.
about it, hey
No.
mom,
How
so
does my mom look like? It looks like him.
points at the mariachi at the hot sauce. Oh man. But you're right. And then and this the director for The Last of Us 2, you know what he reminds me of? You know we
What?
exactly reminds me of? The director for The Last Jedi, Ryan Johnson. Cuz guess what? That movie was made just to fulfill his ego. He did not
Nah.
follow up on The Force Awakens. He
Mhm.
essentially was doing his own thing to tell us what he wanted to do, and because of that, that's why you have the whole casino scene in
Mhm.
like in the middle of the movie, had nothing to do with anything,
Yeah.
and and because of it, that's why you have such horrible treatment of characters like with Luke
Mhm.
Skywalker,
Mhm.
and and oh man, and and so and the more I look deeply, kind of comparing the two, as you know, as I said right there in the title,
Mhm.
Last of Us is gonna be video games Last Jedi, which is funny, considering that when the first game came out, people were calling it the Citizen Kane of games. It's
Mhm.
only fair that the sequel will be the Last Jedi of games. That is such a departure. People calling your first game, comparing it to one of the greatest movies ever made, to now like comparing it to one of the most divisive movies ever made. Because I guarantee you, when the game comes out, it's gonna divide the fan base. There is people who are gonna love, they're gonna love the fact that Joe and Ellie died. You know why? You wanna know why?
Why?
Because of the themes.
Mhm.
Forget the fact that they were unceremoniously killed by characters that you had to control. At least, for Ellie, in the case of Ellie, that turns out to be true. They were
Mhm.
unceremoniously killed, and you had to play as a character that you have no connection towards. As far as our motivation is, it's just revenge, and it's
Mhm.
not like by the end of the game, she all of a sudden realizes, what she's doing is wrong, because apparently the writer thinks that uh, having any type of hopeful message in a apocalyptic story, that's unheard of.
And like, here's the thing with that. Okay, why is Abby mad at Ellie for pretty much what she caused? Ellie's father figure died because at the hands of Abby, and then Ellie takes it out on Abby by taking out what she loves, the only thing that she loves. It's an eye for an eye. And then Abby's like, "No, no,
But see
I
how,
don't like that."
but my themes though, see it fits the theme of revenge, which is pretty
And
much the same type of dumb argument
and
that
like,
people
here's
who
the thing,
defend the Last Jedi, the themes.
like, it doesn't matter. I'm not I'm not liking this character. Sure, there are some games where you're not supposed to like the character, but it's done well. This has not been done well, like, at all. Like, here's the thing. Let me give you an example. What was that game called again? Rising Dead.
Dead
One where you
Rising?
just Dead Rising. Dead Rising. I don't remember which one. I forgot which one. So there is a Dead Rising game. I hope you might remember this one, where you're playing as as a dad that constantly has to feed, or like, in a way, inject the antidote or
Oh,
whatever
that's
he has
right.
to
That's
do.
Dead Rising 2 when you're Chuck.
Yeah, Dead Rising 2. And I forgot which one. I think it was either 3 or 4, where you pretty much play as crap. I think you play as the photographer again.
Frank. Oh, Frank. I believe that's the fourth one. The third one, you're like with these southern folk or something.
Yeah, I think in Dead Rising 4, you're playing as Frank. You know what you had to do in one of the special cases, like one of the missions? I think it was either an off mission or like a special mission you can do. You had in this special mission, you had to kill Chuck,
Oof.
and it's sad. This man is like a shadow of his former self. Like they did it well because first of all, Chuck canonically means now, not like canonically now. Her daughter, I mean his daughter, turned into a zombie or died. I mean either way, it's dead. But yeah, he couldn't keep it up. Daughter died. Man's now broken and in a way crazy. Frank pretty much puts him down.
You. And actually, want me to give you another example in which kind of like this whole revenge thing works better in other games.
Hmm.
Devil May Cry 5. And and that's only due to the fact, and now of course it piggybacks off the fact that it is the fifth game of a main series, so there's a lot of story behind it. But even someone as me, I've never played 1, 2, or 3. I've only played I've only played a what halfway into 4, but 5 was written so well on the dynamics of the three main characters that that you understand why Dante and Virgil are always so antagonistic with each other and always, you know, try to try to see who's the best, and at the very least, by the end,
Hmm.
any sort of revenge or trying or attempt to kill someone to because I will right or wrong or something,
Hmm.
the characters overcome that and realize that that they can't live with that in a sense, especially with what's his name, the third one, especially with Nero.
Hmm.
So, and it was written well that you don't have to be a Devil May Cry fan to understand what's going on.
Hmm.
You can play that game on your own and you'll get a satisfying conclusion, and the game is fun. you know as
Yeah.
bleak as The Last of Us 2 is going to be, it has to be a fun game to play, which is quite telling. Like, consider this, Jack. It's quite telling that the game's going to come out in about a few months.
Hmm.
Can you tell me what new mechanics they added?
What?
No, like, literally. Can you, like, recall, like, any article or any news story where it talked about new gameplay mechanics, um, new enemy types, anything like that?
Not really.
Not as far as not ones I've seen. They're also focused on the story that
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure even when the game comes out, probably going to be near identical to the first one. So you're probably going to get a nicer looking uh, Last of Us One
Hmm.
with even uglier characters.
Hmm.
I bet you it's gonna be Death Stranding over again, where everyone's so focused and caught up on the story that when you finally it's time to play the game, you realize, wait, what's the gameplay? What's the gameplay?
Hmm.
You know, so that's one thing that Last of Us Part Two has going against itself. That whoever in charge of marketing, they're not marketing why you should play this game. They're just hating the fact that it's The Last of Us. It was a sequel to one of the biggest games of the last generation, and
Hmm.
that's really it. Similar to Star Wars, they were similar to Star Wars: The Last Jedi. They were hinging on the fact that it was gonna be a sequel to the previous Star Wars movie in which it had a lot of questions and answers, and they were finally going to get some uh, that we're going to find out how that resolve. But no, we ended up getting something entirely different, all to suit the ego of the director.
Oh.
And I wouldn't be surprised if this game comes out and more observant people find like plot holes or things that break the canon or the lore of The Last of Us. I would not be surprised.
Hmm. I mean, yeah, I pretty much think that Last of Us is gonna die with this last game too. Like it's gonna die.
Which is funny because if I let's see, in another article I read, um, okay, no, wait, no, wait. Oh, no, I misread that. Never mind. But yeah, based on the ending, I don't see a Last of Us Part 3 happening anytime soon.
Nope.
Especially since now we're spreading the message around. People are going to be talking about this. I'm pretty sure we just what cut that gains potential sales in half right now, or at least a good quarter of it,
Possibly. I would say a good chunk of it at least.
good chunk of it, maybe. Although who knows? Maybe the power, maybe the number of normies buying this game is going to fix that.
That's what happened with let's see, what was the game? Metro. Pretty much a good chunk of the people just bought it anyways. Like it was because remember the whole thing with the Epic Games taking it,
Oh yeah,
yeah, and people were like, "No, we're not gonna buy it." But then there was a good chunk of people that bought it anyways.
yep. Because it's the new and shiny thing, and Last of Us Part Two. That's Sony's new and shiny thing, and
Yeah.
um, now I'm just what's funny? What's funny? Remember,
What?
I recall it back to the Jack and Daxter games, and
Hmm.
I, have you ever got a chance to even? I know you never own a PlayStation 2, but maybe at a friend's house or something. You ever like got a chance to play them?
Uh, just a little bit, but not much, really.
I remember recalling that when Naughty Dogs were making that series and they were gonna make the second game, they actually like let's see if I remember correctly, they let's see Jack and Daxter. So if I remember correctly, you had the first game, which is almost kind of your almost cutesy traditional platform game.
Hmm.
Second game comes in. Uh, Jack's no longer a silent protagonist, and things get a lot more darker. But it worked. It was one of those rare cases where having a little edge actually helped the series ma- instead of hurrying it. Like, cause
Hmm.
the first game was rated E, the second and third game went straight to rated T. That's how much
Oh
of a
well.
jump it was. It was like playing Yay Wind Waker, and then all of a sudden you're playing next game Twilight Princess. There's some
Oh, I
heavy.
think I say Shadow the Hedgehog.
Nah, I need good examples. Shadow's not a good example.
Ow, the edge.
Oh, I always read it as "Oh, the Edge."
Just ow, the edge.
Oh man.
Oh, by the way, I found the video. It's actually in the Dead Rising 2, the the fight.
Oh, of where Frank has to kill Chuck.
Yep.
Oh wow. Oh,
But
it was in the DLC for Off the Record. Ah, I see.
yeah. So it could be non canonical, but it's kind of creepy how Chuck became. He literally just like carries around a doll.
Oh yeah, I see. Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right. Because you can lose your daughter.
Mm-hmm.
I guess canonically he did lose it. Oh, that's not good. Oh, by the way, I only found one like piece of footage, leaked footage on Twitter,
Hmm.
and but fortunately, it's not anything of the interesting bits. It's
Hmm.
just like an argument between Dina and Ellie, and pretty much Ellie's it's Ellie saying, "Yo, I'm gonna go chase down Abby. I'm gonna go kill this broad," and Dina's like, "No, just run away. Come on, we gotta think of the family." But Ellie's like,
Hmm.
but she killed Joel,
Hmm.
and just the scene on itself, because luckily it has audio.
Hmm.
It's so melodramatic. Like as I'm watching this, I feel like, am I watching a am I watching a survive? Is like, am I watching a post-apocalyptic game, or did I just stumble across a very dirty looking soap opera?
Violin strings. Ellie, no, Dina.
You know what? Hold on. You know what? It kind of does kind of play out like a soap opera. Think about it. Think about it. You got you got your group of characters, in which all is happening well. Then all of a sudden, you introduce a new character who's no one knows about, but apparently has great ties to the main cast, and everyone's going like, "Who are you?" There's a "Tu mátame, mi padre," and all that, and so all that drama starts, and then you have the whole pregnant wife thing, and the lesbian couples, which is all in one. Someone dies, and then also another revenge story. It plays off like a freaking soap opera.
Now, what level of soap opera is it? American, Mexican, or Indian?
American.
American.
Yeah, mostly because I'm getting like such Walking Dead vibes when I watch those cutscenes.
True.
You know, is not Mexican because it's not over the well, it's not ridiculously over the top, and also the women look ugly.
And it's not Indian because that's extremely over the top, and I don't see 10-minute long clips of the same person falling from a high place.
And it's not Asian soap operas, whether Korean or Japanese, where where everyone it's where it's just all about well, are exactly over the top. Those are pretty much just standard soap operas.
You know, I saw my first K. I guess it's a K drama, but I don't think so. Let's just say K show, and I'm kind of liking it. Not gonna lie. It's this one's it's called Bring It On Ghosts, and it's
Bring it on.
and pretty much it's a guy that can actually see ghosts, and he's paired up with a monk. That's that's pretty much retired because, or he should retire because this monk is not doing well in his job anymore.
Uh, well, when you said "Bring It On" Ghost, you know what was the first thought that came to me?
But
It was a horror. It was like a weird horror comedy with the "Bring It On" cheerleading movies.
oh,
I was like, huh. So pretty much just Monster High, but with actual slutty teenagers. Oh, by the way, so when I was recalling reading back of the director's main tweets, I was reading off this collage image where this person was contrasting what he was saying to some comments made by Reggie, former president of America, in which he states. Reggie says making political statements is for others to do, and Tenda wants people to smile and have fun. And the best quote Yeah, probably it's probably from from a direct. He said the the game is fun. If it's not fun, why bother? Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And from the looks of it, I don't think it's gonna be fun when you're forced to play as the essentially the antagonist halfway through.
Hmm. I mean, there are ways where you can make playing as the antagonist, but
Yeah,
at least some of them, whenever it comes to that, they have to be built on
yeah,
like more than
and
just half of a video game.
yeah, and you have to grow some sort of attachment to the antagonist. And you know
Hmm.
what? The game isn't out yet, so if I have to be fair and objective, there there's the leaks are not giving us everything. Who knows? Maybe there's like many cutscenes where we really follow Abby's story, and maybe, but still though, they'll be kind of contrasting. Like, okay, we feel this person, and all of a sudden she kills the last two main characters.
Hmm.
You know, no matter how well you you write that character for the audience to grow attached to, she's gonna do something so unbelievable, but that any amount of appreciation or even likeliness people liking her is gone. It's just straight up gone.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So even in the best case scenario, like she's an interesting character, she's really developed. It's all gonna be washed away, with just stupid melodramatic moments. Kind of reminds me of comics if I really think about it.
Like here's the thing: if they try to go this route where they need to kill off Joel, it has to be where he turns crazy in some way.
Or maybe just to or maybe it's kind of cliche, but maybe he gets infected and Ailey has to take him down.
Nah,
I like this cliche, but at least it'll provide a scenario in which there will bring closure to those two characters.
no, no, that's a little bit different in the sense of like, at least this is the only time where I'm ever gonna commend Telltale for when in the Telltale games when you play as the black guy. Spoiler for everyone that hasn't played it, but oh well. He dies in the end because he got infected. He got infected, and the little girl that's been following him for the past many stories pretty much just puts him down. That is done well in the sense of he died heroically, but I wouldn't really see that with this one. I just can't see it done well with Last of Us.
Well, maybe if a certain writer stayed on board, maybe they could have. Just saying, just saying.
No, I think she would have probably went some other route rather than that.
Probably, like my original idea, just focus on some focus on some new characters. If it sounds like they really want to make since Abby's essentially going to be main character number two, they could have just made her and the other girl. What I meant? What was it? What's her name was? Hold on. What was the bow girl?
Lev.
Lev. There we go. Literally, Abby and Lev could have been their own protagonists in the world of The Last of Us, and nothing to do with Joel or Ellie. If they really wanted to use those characters,
Hmm.
oh, you know. Oh, okay, now I just remember. Did you catch? This was very recent. Did you catch when the voice actor for Joel, Troy Baker, told everyone that to keep an open mind about The Last of Us Part 2?
Oh no, that's not a good thing to say.
No,
That's something that you tell people like and makes them nervous. It doesn't ease their mind. It just makes them nervous.
I see now why he says that now to keep an open mind.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's not good.
and oh, and also remember, oh, now remember this. So the game's supposed to have this whole message about revenge and how it's a never-ending cycle and it broods nothing but negativity, right?
Hmm.
You know, there's another
Yeah.
game that did that story really well in its own way. No More Heroes. You know, as bizarre and weird and strange as that game is at times, it
Hmm.
it at least has something to say about the never-ending cycle of death and revenge,
Hmm.
and particularly with one character in which uh, and what was it? Was it Bad Girl? No, I don't think it was Bad Girl, but but essentially all those assassins you're killing so you can be the number one assassin in the world. And eventually, all those actions are coming back to bite you by the end of the game, and even in the sequel.
Yeah, I remember playing the sequel with you. That was fun.
No, that's not the sequel. That
Oh.
there is an actual No More Heroes 2. No, that game you play with me, the Travis Strikes Again. That's literally a spin-off. That's literally just is it's a like that's literally just a game just to announce that that a third one is coming.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a very creative ad and an announcement.
Hey, that's a good one though.
Yeah, yeah. Still gotta get it back one day so I can finish it. But yeah, the Normal Heroes they told this revenge story well, and by the end, the main character, you kind of realize that oh wow, he really is a crappy character, but but that's the whole point of it.
Hmm.
Whereas to this, they they could have all they could have done to I guess make people not feel as bad is if maybe Abby learned her lesson or something like that, or maybe Ellie
Hmm.
shows mercy and compassion, where she doesn't kill Abby after she defeats her.
Yeah.
You know, that's the one thing that's bothering me because when I read this, I understand that you want to that the writer and they want to make this a you know a bleak game where there's like any light in the world is snuffed out as quickly as it comes, and there's no heroes, there's no villains, there's just people with problems. Well, unfortunately, you know when the way stories are made, you have to present a valuable message in which either you're forwarding someone, or you're trying to set light on something positive. And with the whole psycho revenge thing, like I said, that could work if not for the fact that and not for the fact that because of the character change midway, you are forcibly as a player you're forcibly have to endure this cycle, and there's nothing really you can do to change anything about it. There's no agency in that regard. It's not like
Yeah.
it's not like you have two options, or at least the it doesn't seem that way. And as all the apocalyptic fiction at least I've ever seen or read, as bleak as they can be, and they are, those stories are meant to highlight that no matter how far things go down the road, there's always still gonna be a hopeful future for humanity.
Yeah.
And The Last of Us, they could have had that message, and that would have garnered more fans, and you would have had a actually much more better story for people to really recognize. Because then, let's say as Abby, yeah, you're going off to revenge, so chasing Ellie, but then you go to this her own story of trying to grow out of that, and Ellie is essentially she would be like the prime example of a person who knows to show compassion and mercy, even no matter how flawed her herself is.
Like here's it reminds me of how here's what they could if they really wanted to keep that whole Ellie killing thing or like killing Ellie. Uh, you remember that Star Wars game? Crap. Pretty much in the Star Wars game where you end off fighting Obi Wan, and you're playing as Anakin, and it's doing a one-on-one. You're in. You're literally doing the whole game, like the whole scene.
Is it?
When you,
Oh,
huh?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
When you do that fight, it's pretty much very, very difficult to beat Obi Wan because he is like very tanky with those lightsaber hits, and it seems like he just does regular damage to you. And they made it to where you're supposed to lose, just so that that's because that's how the game went, or like that's how the story went. Anakin lost that fight and became Darth Vader. But if you really wanted to win that fight, you will put in the extra effort, take as much time as you wanted to, and you can beat Obi Wan to where you get that secret ending where Anakin manages to do the jump that Obi Wan did before, stabs him in the heart, then goes back to his own ship, kills Palpatine, and then just ends off there with say where Anakin becomes the Emperor.
Truly the darkest timeline.
If you really wanted to do this route of you wanting to have the story where killing was like you could have done that as a secret ending. Have the whole fight go on, and then make her like some kind of bullet sponge or something. Make it hard to kill her because she's definitely gonna be hard to kill. And if you lose, she pretty much like points a gun at you, and then she's like, "Nah, like I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna beat you." Or you win, and then you kill Ellie, the most boring, the very boring ending.
That's actually, you know what, I can see that. I can work really well. And obviously, with you losing her, that would be the canonical ending.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, you still got two characters that you can use for future games instead of just
Mm-hmm.
one character that people are gonna hate.
Yep.
How how come we could think of this, but not professionals at a game studio?
Because people are now way too invested in their political science and just their politics.
Yeah, you know what, that is true. That is true because we gotta because if any poke apocalypse story needs, it's melodrama between two lesbians.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And actually, you know what? I retract the statement. Melodrama between a lesbian and someone who clearly likes it, who likes to um, have some D on the side. Oh, by the way, unrelated, unrelated. So the strange stuff I've been watching because I couldn't sleep. It was uh pretty much this guy's like he's is very honest opinions on women
Mm-hmm.
based on his experiences and what he's come to find out, and he has this firm belief that no woman is a true lesbian.
Huh.
he says no matter how ugly or whatnot, once they find that one guy, that's it. They're not lesbians anymore.
I mean, I don't know. Like I feel like that's true right now because, all right, if you ever go on Tinder, have you? There is a crazy amount of bisexual women, like a crazy amount. They will literally put it on there because you can choose your, I guess, sexual preference and it says bisexual for a lot of them. Very few of them will say straight. I'm not sure if that's just the type of people Tinder always get, but
And
it's just like it's
and
so weird.
and for these women who say bisexual, are they in their do they look like they're in their 20s or early 30s?
Yes.
Yep, figured. And as well, and that same stream I was watching, he recalled actual comments by Miley Cyrus. You know what Miley Cyrus actually said one time?
What?
She said that she literally said that because she found the man in her life, which ends up being Chris Hemsworth's brother Liam.
Mm-hmm.
That's what made her stop being a lesbian.
Ha.
Once she literally found the guy she wanted to marry, all of us she's like I'm straight now. I don't want to deal with women.
Like, see, that's the thing. I am not sure if it's just some weird pattern I'm seeing, or if like this. I don't know. It's just like so confusing.
Well, here's how I understand it as a certified misogynist. So as far as I understand it, obviously and verifiably, women are more they are more sexually open than men when it comes to other women. I mean, I don't know how many um I don't know how many times in which someone draws like a curvy anime character and there's a whole bunch of ladies loving it more often than just a handsome like bishi guy.
Hmm.
So you got that going on. You also got the fact that a lot of these women are raised up in the climate in which that as far as secular society goes, there's no real there's no repercussions of liking either gender. At least not anything compared to how it was back in the past, like in the 80s, 70s, and 60s and 50s.
Hmm.
So they're and with the marriage laws being how they are now, you know, they can freely like whichever gender they want. But of course, but of course, look up any like long-term lesbian couples. More often than not, things don't last long and end up pretty violent. Unfortunately, except for the gays, they actually can have a long-lasting relationship, which is
You know
funny.
why? You know why?
Enlighten me.
Because guys actually look for a answer, or they look to try and work things out. Most of the times they do. Because have you ever noticed this? How come when there's relationship problems, most of the times a guy will try to fix it. Like if a guy's unhappy, he'll try to fix it if he's not a douchebag. But when a girl's unhappy in the relationship, they want to end it.
Oh yeah, yeah. There is a thing of girls ending relationships over the pettiest things.
So like that's kind of that made me think. I'm like, huh, that's kind of true.
Yep.
Not just from like media examples, but also now currently personal examples. And like also, I've noticed this that in TikTok, there have been a lot of people, at least also women, have been defending men, which is actually a for wants to have.
Yeah, it's nice to have our it's nice to have and it's nice to hear to see that although hopefully at least hopefully though we get to see some real actual change when it comes to these marriage laws because that's a
Hmm. Yeah. Oh, that's even better. I think who was it that divorced? Ah, crap.
is a celebrity.
Yeah, it was a celebrity.
Adele.
Yes,
That's right.
that one. Okay, if y'all, all of y'all are still thinking that we're way too biased. Here's the thing: Adele divorced her husband. Her husband was pretty much like, if I'm correct, he was a stay-at-home dad, right?
Probably. I'm not too sure on what he does.
Of course, Adele makes so much more money than him.
So much more money, stupid money.
Now let me just dive detour a little bit and say this. All right, so let's say we have a millionaire man gets married with his wife. Then after that, things don't end up well. They divorce. The wife gets half of the things. Like it's 50-50. Even though I mean, in a way, it technically he bought the whole house. He did everything. They get 50-50. No one
Mm-hmm.
bats an eye. Now, Adele divorces her husband because she's a big celebrity. He gets half of the things because that's how marriage is, apparently. When you get half of it. That's how marriage is. At least when it comes to the divorce case, 50-50. He gets half the money and half whatever else they were discussing. People go ape shit. They're just like, how could they? It's no fair. The guy should have been left with nothing. He didn't do anything to get all that. He doesn't deserve all that. This is unfair to women. Like,
Mm.
hmm.
Mm.
Now you know how men feel like sometimes when it comes to these divorce cases.
Yep. And also, looking it up more, did you know they did not sign a prenup?
Really?
Yeah, I think it's because of that. That's why he was able to get her half because
Ha!
they didn't sign a prenup. Wow.
See, guys, always sign the prenup.
Oh man. So yeah.
So
So I
it's just
was
like,
listening to a lot of stuff that, of course, that I agree with. Some of them that I've yet to see to make a valid opinion on. Some stuff I disagree with in regards to at least Western women, at least in America. But it's but at the very least, you know what I promised you. If I ever make like a story, you wanna know what I promised you, Jack?
what?
That at the very least, I would, if I was gonna write a female character,
Hmm.
I'll make her a fun character. Regardless of not regardless if I would feel like a lady, regardless of how I feel about women in general, because it's all about great characters, which is more than can I say than about the director of The Last of Us, who I think he, just the way he is and some of the stuff he said, I think he is a bit of a white knight, probably.
We need to stop putting everything into politics. Like everything is not about politics. It doesn't have to be about politics.
No,
Like I don't want to sit down, play some Monopoly, and then have my friend call me a capitalist pig because I'm winning.
or to play a game of D&D and to be called you're a bunch of your whole lot's a bunch of conservatives,
Or I just don't want to be called
right wing Nazis.
I don't want to be called a Trump supporter just because I said one thing that's pretty much true about PC culture right now.
or or better yet, not to um not to be called and not to be called a sexist if you just want to have a hobby where you don't want to deal with women.
And I don't want it. I don't want. I don't want to live in a part when in a time where a friend corrects another friend over the scientific facts about spiders and being called Ben Shapiro for it.
Really, we're really gonna go this route? Really?
Like,
Frankly,
like,
facts don't care about your feelings, Jack. Okay.
like, seriously, I had my friend was really literally discussing that the Black Widow hasn't or has like very low mortality rates because we have anti venom for them, and like as long as you get the bite fixed, it's very a low mortality rate. No, not many people, if at all, die from it. And my other friend was like, "No, that's wrong. They were both fighting over it, even though the other one is pretty much true." So he starts calling him Ben Shapiro just because he was right. Stop putting politics into random stuff. Why? We don't need that. We want to get away from the world when we sit down and play a video game. We want to get away from the world when we want to listen to a happy song.
We want
Like
that.
sure, you can put some messages like that in games and media. I'm not saying you shouldn't. We just need to tone it down.
Oh yeah. You know, there's a reason why it's called escapist entertainment to begin with. I mean, dude, this is what comics I've been dealing with for the past. Oof. I would have said 5 years, but no, probably it's more likely just 10 years.
Like everyone wants to have that. Like when virtual reality games are been coming out, they were a breath of fresh air for me, just because it was literally escaping into another reality. Stop worrying about whatever is happening out there in the world. I don't want to hear about politics. I just want to shoot or go into a gladiatorial match without having get my limbs cut off in real life.
Or maybe you just want to finish the fight.
Or maybe I just want to do some virtual fishing because can't get out for quarantine.
You think virtual? You know what? Sega should get on that. Virtual Sega Bass Pro Fishing. Get on it, Sega.
Yeah, I
Sure,
played that on the computer. That was fun.
I'm sure they'll make gangbusters in Japan. Cause
It's so weird. I actually I think my first no that technically that's a lie, but the funny thing is that I played PC games when we had like a dinosaur ass computer. The first game I avidly played on that, of course, I still had my consoles to keep me entertained more often, but it was the Bass Pro Fishing on the PC. It was like a 2007 that I played that.
let's see. I think the only I think the only very games that's in which you're just playing like a digital version of a real activity would
Hmm.
probably be when I played MVP Baseball 2005. It's a baseball game, and I wish I could enjoy that more. But only issue is,
Hmm.
anytime I try to do like a career mode or anything like that, I never had enough memory space because apparently 50 blocks ain't enough.
Oh yeah, I had that problem too.
So I was like, so I'm always, so every time I boot it up, I can't save anything. So I'm always constantly having to switch players to teams I want or start the whole career mode over again. I mean, I enjoyed it, but still, it was like annoying. Oh,
Imagine that. A time where we called spaces in the video game memory card blocks.
yeah,
We didn't say megabytes, gigabytes. We just said
blocks.
blocks.
yeah.
So how many blocks did that memory took up? Oh, it took up like 50 blocks. Man, that's a lot.
That's
Yeah, it was totally a lot. Equivalent, it could have been like 2 megabytes. I don't know.
well. Hold on. Actually, what is the equivalent? Let's see. 50 blocks. 50 blocks. Memory card. I wonder what's the actual like, what's the exchange on that? What's the exchange rate on that?
What's the exchange rate?
How? Let's see. Dang it. GameCube memory card. Dang it. Trying to find. Huh. Okay. So that's what I'm looking for. But so if I'm reading this right, if I had a GameCube that had 2000, if I had a GameCube memory card that had 2048 blocks, you know how much storage that is?
How much?
128 megabytes. I don't think that's right. Or maybe it
Huh.
is. Hold on. 50, I need to know that. What's the conversion rate? I need to know. How many bits are in one block? Like, I don't want SD cards. The- okay, so here's a level conversion. So so 251 blocks in a GameCube memory card is equivalent to 16 megabytes.
Huh.
That is small.
S- Yeah.
Not even giga.
Well, of course it's not Giga. I would expect at least some more megabytes in that one. Like at least 200.
Yep, yep. Like, so wait, so then 50 blocks. Wow, that's like barely anything. God dang. God dang. How far
Science, how it advanced.
in over just 10 years? God,
Yep,
my
yep.
mind's blown now. My mind's just
Yeah,
blown right
it's
now.
so funny because going on a tangent with the remember USBs in like 2007. 100 there was like 125 megabytes, and that same size USB today you could fit like 64 gigabytes.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and don't even start on SD cards, especially micro ones. God dang.
The only ones that still have this whole I guess problem is SSD cards or SSD, like the separate ones that you can buy, because those, it's like almost like I think I would say $1 per gigabyte. So if you want a hundred gigabyte SSD, it will cost you like $100, or even maybe even more than that. Hard drives are easy to get.
I know, which is funny, cause I over my console I have, I gotten two hard drives, one for my Wii U, one for my PS4. The Wii U one needs to have its own AC adapter, but the PS4 one, all it needs is just a USB 3 cable, and that's it. And it's just plug it in. No, it doesn't need its own adapter. And that
Hmm.
small thing has more terabytes too than the brick I have for the Wii U. Oh, by the way, since you because you mentioned Shapiro, uh, did you know he had a sister?
He does.
Oh yes. Let me show you what she looks like, because she's well, you'll see.
That'd be funny. That'd be funny if she's a liberal.
There you go.
Damn.
Yep. Oh, before you asked, and before you asked, for anyone asks, yes, the pictures you're looking for are there. You just gotta know where to look, because apparently
What?
she does not know how to keep her phone secure. So, but yeah, that's Shapiro's sister.
Huh.
She's she is literally the living embodiment of the Onesa trope.
I would, I would take her out on a nice date.
I would treat her nice because you don't want to deal with her brother. Also remember she is a Jewish woman, so you gotta be frugal. You gotta make sure everything's what's that word again? Kosher.
I'll just ask her for some popular Jewish restaurants. Cause hey, I want to try out some new stuff. I'm not afraid to try out new food.
Want some unleavened bread?
Yeah, I'm. I like whenever it comes to of course these are completely different, but when I tried out Indian food, I I fell in love with it just because of the bread itself, the naan.
Nani?
I'm gonna
Uh,
smack you. I'm gonna smack you.
you can't
I'm
smack.
smack you.
You
I'm gonna
can't.
smack you with this gordita looking tortilla,
You can't smack
Indian
me.
tortilla.
You can't smack me because we're under quarantine.
I will virtually slap you right now.
I'm,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
surprised there isn't a slap emoji.
Get on download VR chat. I'm going on there to slap you virtually.
No man, nope. You have fun with that. Just slap whoever resembles me in the game. I'm sure you'll find Maui somewhere in VR chat.
Yes, the Maui that could probably, considering VR chat, has the emote that makes him twerk.
Oh god. Oh god. You saying that? Yeah, I didn't imagine Maui twerking. I just went back to the whole Thanos twerking. Oh good lord.
That's what I went to as well.
At the very least, at least there is no, as far as I know, at least there's no dark side twerking.
you know, what? This I'm scared for you now
Why?
because there is most likely Maui avatar in VR chat,
Oh, I'm sure.
and
I'm
but
sure.
like that means you virtually ERP'd with someone before.
Wait, virtually ERP?
Erotic roleplay.
Oh. Well, good thing I'm not Maui then, am I?
what after they're finished? What can I say except
You're
you're
welcome.
welcome?
although, although ignoring all that VR stuff, I do find it funny though that if you do look, if I'm clean shaven
Hmm.
and my hair is and my hair is the way is all it is,
Hmm.
you can see a bit of Maui in me, or at the very least, I could pass off as a Samoan, like what happened to Fluffy. Orale. But also my little sister, because the way her hair is, she would be a perfect she would be a perfect Moana.
Hey, would you think if you got a like a darker tan, would you be like a Maori?
Maori?
Yeah, you would look like one or no?
I'm trying to recall what a Maori is.
You can type it in Maori tribe.
How do you spell that?
Maori.
Maori. Maori people. Ah, first people of New Zealand.
Yeah,
Huh.
just add some war paint on you. Do the haka. I'm sure you'll fit in. Which I'm not even being sarcastic. I actually
Oh,
think you would fit in.
my brothers.
my, my brother,
My
my
brothers. I
brother,
found them.
my brother.
I will now perform the sacred dance.
Yeah, do the haka with them.
Oh, I gotta. Because I found the perfect image. I found the perfect image. Especially, and I also love every man has the same body type no matter what. I'll, I'll show you. I'll show you. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, put it on the Discord, and I'll show the audience what I'm looking at.
Yep,
Yep.
yep.
Yep. This is as close as you're gonna get, folks. Until we do a face reveal, this is as close as it gets as how I'm gonna look like. I look like a fat Aquaman. That's what I look like. Just without the cool personality or the tattoos.
Hey. Maori people are cool.
No, I said without the cool personality. I said, referring to myself.
Oh,
Oh man, I wonder how the women look like. Hold on,
they look like women.
you know what I meant.
They have testicles and
Just let's see. Hold on, Maori women,
Maori,
Maui. I can't say that.
Maori,
Maori.
Maori, Maori.
You the son of the family.
They went from New Zealand to Japan so quick.
Hey, they're close. They're next to each other. Kind of. They're in the
Kinda.
they're in the same side of the world. All right, looking at Maori woman.
Maori. You added a W in there.
Maui. I can't say it right.
Maui. The Maui tribe.
All right. Let's see.
If I'm correct, isn't weren't they based off the Maori? Actually no, I don't think so.
Could be. I don't know. No, no, no. Probably not.
No, they weren't.
So I'm looking at them. Uh, you know what they remind me of?
What?
They look like they're like a mixture of Puerto Rican and Mexican woman.
That's a nice combination.
So especially this one, she literally looks like a Puerto Rican friend I know. Good lord, it's like near identical.
Double life.
She's not the islander that you think she is. And this one just looks straight. And this one looks straight up Asian. Like literally straight up Asian.
Oh, but let me show you the. So I'm gonna show you the Maori how they look like in Civ.
This is gonna be fun.
My favorite one is when he gets mad at you because he like starts trying to intimidate you.
Please tell me he does a dance.
Kinda,
Here.
not really, but like it's here. No, stop that. Cancel. I don't want to download it.
You do want to download the Trojan virus.
Also, the I like the Maori people. I don't like the civilization in this game. Want to
Uh,
know why?
why do you don't like them in the game?
Because they don't like improvement on the tiles. Meaning, oh, I see naturally growing wheat. What do I? What should I do with it? Oh yeah, I'm gonna try to make a farm out of it. The Maori people behind you, we hate you for that. Why? You ruined the land.
Oh, I see. Bunch of hippies.
They're like, I'm making a farm out of it. I'm growing the crops well.
This will
You're
help our
ruining the
people in the
land.
long run.
You're ruining the land.
The Mother Earth speaks to us and she says that you're defiling her.
We have too many mouths to feed. We're gonna. You're ruining the land.
Oh man. But that's how they look like. uh, they have a strong island culture. They have strong arms, but can never get that fat off their chest. But it's probably like a status symbol thing, anyways. In America, I am just a fatso. But if I go show in the world, I am the most handsome man they've ever seen.
The most handsome islander. It's a
Exactly.
pretty big island, though. It's that's the only description we have. It's a pretty, really big island.
In my final days, I will be with my true people, not the Mexicans, but the
The, Ma-
Maoris, the
the
Maoris,
Maori. The
The Maoris.
Maori.
There you go. Thank you.
You
I'll
better
be
start off with saying it correctly. They're gonna really.
Maoris. You're right. Uh, I, I I will be amongst them, but I will not be one of them.
Yep.
But I will gain their trust, and soon I will marry all their women,
All of them.
all of them,
All of them.
all of
As
them,
soon as as soon as they become of age, married, just married right there.
and I will make myself and I will make myself a god of the sun, and I'm sure there will be no repercussions because of my actions,
None whatsoever.
none whatsoever. Oh man, what time is it? We are hitting about the 2 hour mark into the podcast, and guess what, Jack?
What?
We got another. We Even though we've been getting kind of on and off viewers, we actually got now another like for the episode.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I think you know what I think I know what to do with my thumbnails now, so they look more appealing. So of course, this is also a pretty big topic, so that also helps too. Ain't every day in which an entire game's plot is leaked out. Oh man, ooh, ooh, Mitchy.
There we go. All right. But yep.
But I guess we can go in just any final thoughts on the matter for The Last of Us Part 2.
No, I think we just already beat it to oblivion. We should stop it. Stop beating a dead horse.
I You're right. We're not gonna beat the Z horse. You know what I'm gonna do instead?
We're gonna eat it.
Ew, no horse, man. No, that's too gamey. I think tough to eat. Nah, we're
No,
just.
if you're a good chef, you can take off that gamey taste. As far as what I've learned from Food Wars,
Put in the right amount of seasoning, you can make anything taste good, even this boot.
you can make it taste good to the point where your clothes come off.
I'm sure you can. I'm sure you can.
That's a different game.
Kadoken. All right, but no, I do want to say these lasting thoughts. That obviously we're judging this game with with only the big moments leaked out for it. Who knows how the experience will be overall? And by the time it comes out, we'll see what the general consensus is among, especially people who are just normies and they really just play games like 1 or 2 games a year, maybe three. So we'll see how that goes. Um, I do find it funny though how this game was on indefinite hiatus until this happened.
Yep.
Oh wow. Oh, hold on. Need myself a real quick second. There we go. But to else, and I was saying this, that regardless of if people listening to this, regardless how you feel about Last of Us, whether you're a huge fan or not or disinterested or hate the series, regardless of how you feel about that, one no one should always want the best from your entertainment. You know, because as with the Last Jedi comparison, as a Star Wars fan, I expected a lot more out of a movie with the Star Wars title. Like I'm sure a lot of Last of Us fans expected a lot more out of a game called The Last of Us, especially if it's a sequel. So, as much as I love riffing on it, I do understand and I do sympathize with the fans of this franchise, what they're going to be dealing with when the game comes out, and the fact that any surprises the game has to offer, it's you know we're, it's gonna be unavoidable knowing in the back of your head that this story that you're excited for uh, was leaked out due to incompetence and due to resentment from people within the team,
Hmm.
and that the game will be forever tainted, and this will be something that people are going to look back on, just how people look back how poorly Battlefield 5 has become. Which, have you heard the news about Battlefield 5?
Yeah, plenty of it.
Yep, they um, and as well with amongst other. I'm trying to think of any other trying to amongst other games, but I think Battlefield 5 is the only I could think of. But point is that you should have standards for the games you want, regardless if you're a big fan of a franchise or a series. This is why, when it comes to Star Wars, you know, uh, if any new Star Wars things comes out, fine. I'm sure it'll be cool, but I'm not interested because of what it has done. And I encourage people who really do like The Last of Us, you know, put your money where your mouth is. And all the stuff we talked about, if you did not like what you heard, don't buy the game. Send it. This is the perfect time to send a message saying that, hey, because of what you put in, you lost a customer. And because of the way this game was marketed, was advertised, and all the stuff surrounding it, I do not support this financially. So that's how I end up saying. And yeah, that's pretty much it. All to say on that matter. And with that, we'll go ahead and start on closing down the episode. So, Jack, tell us what you're going to be doing till the next episode of the Hack Jack Show.
All right, so for me, I'm going to be putting out more live streams whenever I can on my days off. Last night we did the Total War Shogun 2 live stream. For anyone in the future that was watching it, I hope you enjoyed it. I know it's 8 hours. I'm not expecting you to watch the whole thing. The first hour and a half, I would say we were just fumbling around,
But,
losing constantly.
but at least watch the first 4 hours. I mean, come on.
Jesus Christ! I mean, if you watched the first 4 hours, I commend you. But like, yeah, the game is a lot of fun. We've been having fun with it, me and my friend. Sadly enough, the game will not be finished in the live stream. We've already actually finished the game. It's the campaign. We were pretty much already steamrolling, so there was no point of us showing it anymore. Mostly because if you watch the stream, their hack, we auto resolved pretty much 90% of the matches. That's how badly we were steamrolling.
Oh, wow.
So imagine this: it was like a fight of 1 to 100. So they had what for every one soldier they had, we had 100.
You're just being the Roman Empire, aren't you?
So that's why I said we didn't. We finished already. We already finished the game. We steamrolled it, auto resolved everything. We didn't even bother trying to do the tactical fights.
And did you bring honor to your clan?
Yes, we did. We took down Kyoto and we made it our capital.
Ah, yes. And united all of Japan under the name of Obunaga. Any case. So, all right. So you've been doing more live streams. Anything else?
Um, I'll see if I can do a solo live stream of the of Doom Eternal. I'm kind of been hesitant on doing it just because I'm scared that it's gonna crash consistently. But I might just need to bite the bullet and do it, just because I handle cutting the game up into sections of 30 minutes. I can't handle it. I want to play more, and 30 minutes is not enough for me.
No, it's never enough when you're playing Doom or Doom Eternal.
So I'm gonna make a live stream of it. Probably do hour-long live streams of it, calling them episodes, just so I can play the game more.
Awesome, awesome. And as for me, I've been on continually working on Spiral episode 3, which hopefully should be finished with it by the end of the week, assuming things don't come up on my end. Um, I and as well as even noticed for any kind of free day I have, I do try to put a video out, whether it's just like me expressing an opinion or a comic review. Uh, so I do hope people check those out. I know there's no new comics going out and whatnot, but there's still a whole bunch of 80 years worth of comics to explore. Just saying, just saying. And lastly, of course, every Friday night till things change, I'm gonna be doing a chill stream where it's gonna be an opportunity to come and speak with me, hang out, and just talk about whatever the heck I want to talk about. And last time, I think the stream went. The last time last week's ones ended up going solo for about like an hour 20 minutes. Then had a guest over and we like passed that 4 hour mark. So in total, I was like streaming for almost 7 hours.
Oh wow,
Oh yeah, it's
that's a
amazing.
lot for you.
Yeah, it's amazing. Well, how much you can talk about when it comes to comics. So do keep an eye on that. That's gonna be every Friday night at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, and of course, there will be a new episode of the HAC and JAC Show next week. All right then. With all that out of the way, thank you very much for watching episode 38 of the HAC and JAC Show. Our probably, I'm not exaggerating, probably a more successful episode relative to our channel, I would say. So hopefully
Yes,
this means things are picking up. It took us 30 episodes, Jack, but we got more than one like.
yes.
We're finding something. We just gotta step our game up. That's all, and hopefully we can finally actually see each other face to face when this is all over. I'm
Yeah.
forgetting what you look like. Who are you again?
How do you look like? Who is this voice I hear?
Oh, okay. All right then. All right then. We're gonna go ahead and close. Thank you everyone for watching. Like, subscribe, all that YouTube nonsense. You know what that is. And this is Hack, signing out.
Bye, everyone.